Penske is back on the Indy pole. Jeep recalls a bunch of Wranglers. Russians are discovering a legendary Corvette boss, and we'll take a look at the Chevy Cruze Eco. I'm Ken, here to get the week off to a fast start with a Monday edition of Autoweek TV. Here's the news. For the 17th time in the history of the race, a Roger Penske car will start on the pole for the Indianapolis 500. Penske's Ryan Briscoe just edged out Andretti Autosport's James Hinchcliffe and Ryan Hunter-Reay for the pole position. The first two rows of the starting grid are cars using Chevrolet engines. The highest qualifying Honda engine is in the car of rookie Joseph Newgarden, who starts 7th. The race gets underway at noon Eastern on Sunday. Chrysler is recalling nearly 68,000 Jeep Wranglers due to a risk of fires. The recalled Jeep Wranglers are 2010 models. Chrysler says a skid plate under the transmission can collect road debris. The skid plate is close to the catalytic converter, which could lead to debris catching fire. Recall notices are going out soon. Russian Zora Arkus-Duntov rose to fame as the first chief engineer of the Chevrolet Corvette. But only now are people in Russia learning of Zora's accomplishments. Last week, an exhibit that tells the tale of Zora's work with the Chevrolet opened in Moscow at the Alexander Solzhenitsyn Center for Russian Emigres. The exhibit, which runs through June 10th, includes a couple of modern Corvettes and a new Camaro. Chevy currently exports the Camaro to Russia, but not the Corvette. That's the news for today. Now enjoy Mark Vaughn's review of the Chevy Cruze Eco. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Until then, enjoy the drive.
For years, heck, for decades, if you wanted to recommend a good small car to somebody, you always said something like Honda Civic, Toyota Corolla, something like that made in Japan. You never really acknowledged that there were small cars made in America. Anybody remember the Dodge Omni? Okay, that was ancient history. Now we have the Chevy Cruze Eco. The styling on this particular model is pretty much the same as the other Eco models. There are a couple of aerodynamic changes to get it better drag characteristics as it goes through the atmosphere. Gets it 42 miles per gallon on the highway, which is exceptional. It's like a hybrid without having to be a hybrid and without having to pay the hybrid prices. The Cruze comes in 2 engine configurations. The base model is a 1.8, but the one that's in all the other ones and the one you probably want is a 1.4 turbo engine. Makes 138 horsepower, and it is actually surprisingly fun to drive. When we took this car to the drag strip, it got a 0 to 60 time of 8.5 seconds, and we had fun doing it. Around the skid pad, it got 0.8 G, which is good for a front drive small compact car, and it went through the slalom at almost 42 miles an hour. So it's not a great performer. It's not like 1 Series or something several classes up, but it is a fun car to drive. It's nimble, it shifts well. If you look at the styling, you might say it's kind of forgettable, maybe bland, but you know, consider the class. This class doesn't want super swoopy styling. It's not supercar stuff. They want something that's just utilitarian and maybe a little bit anonymous. And that's what you get here, but the edges around it are done nicely. It's sort of taut in a compact, economical car way. This particular model has fabric seats, and then there's this mesh inlay on the dash, which actually you could say it looks like a Fisker. Tell all your friends it looks just like the Fisker dash. Plenty of room in the back seat too. Watch. I got headroom, I got shoulder room, I got leg room, knee room, everything. Let me pop the trunk and we'll have a quick look. It's got a deep well in there and lots of room. The seats fold down 60/40 in the back. So that's the new Chevy Cruze Eco. It's a good car, and it's a car that you can recommend and buy yourself. No longer do you have to buy it because you feel guilty that you must buy American. You can buy it because it's a good car. For Autoweek, this is Mark Vaughn saying, enjoy the drive.
Catch all the latest auto enthusiast news at Autoweek.com, in Autoweek Magazine and iPad Edition. Talk with us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter at Autoweek USA.